Thank you for letting me join the group. I'm here, well, not really for myself, well, for myself and my wife. My son, he's like, oh, I have to even say the age. He's like 35 years old. He tried to make it on his own. I struggled. I put him through college. He was supposed to be something, I don't know, something in education, but he never could get a job. And now he's completely given up. We paid all that money to send him to a nice school right here in United States. And I tell him, I know he's tired of hearing it, but I tell him about the times I had when I first moved here to the United States. I was probably 20 years old. I moved here. I had nothing. I don't want to exaggerate. I probably had maybe $500. Got a small loan from my parents who had a fish market back home. And I told them I want to go make my way in America. So they sent me over here. And I had nothing. Nobody gave me nothing here in America. And it was hard, but I made it. I became a cab driver, got medallion, and I make a good living. I raised my wife, my son, my daughter, and we have a home here in the Bronx. But my son, he just sits in the basement, and it feels like some of it's my fault because I don't force him to do what he should do as a man. A man needs to be hardworking to stay out of trouble. Not that he's a criminal or anything like that, but he's one of these modern day kids, want to live on the computer, don't want to go out into the real world and meet women and go on dates. But he couldn't do that anyway because he has no money. The money he has, it comes from me. But he sits in his basement, he's on his computer, comes up sometimes and gets dinner, goes right back downstairs. I don't know what to do. I'm at the end of my rope. That's why I'm here today, to try and see if some of you can maybe give me some advice. So let me start at the beginning. Like I said, we paid for him to go to a nice school. He made it through high school, and that was troubled also, but he made it through high school, and we got him to finally go to college, and he made it through college. We thought he was going to, try to make something of himself in the computer world. Got these degrees, certifications, and went on many, many, many interviews. He was on Indeed, filling out the applications, getting interviews, going. But when they meet him in person, I don't know. He just can't close the deal, as they say. But I tell him, you get out of life what you put into it. And now he's just sitting in the basement playing these games where he fights and shoots people. I don't understand it. I don't see how he could be like that. How could he really be my son? My wife, she feels really bad when I say that, but I don't mean anything terrible by it. I just want my son to be a man. I don't want him to sit in this cyber computer world 24 hours a day and not try to make anything of himself. I can understand the difficulties he may have because he's trying to be, I told him I could get him a job driving a car, but he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't think that's high enough in his status that he wants to be. So I've had it up to here. And again, I thank you for letting me come on here and tell my story. It feels good to get it out and be open and tell people how I'm feeling, and maybe I can get some help. I can get some direction. I don't use the internet too much, but I'm at my end with this boy. I want him to be a man. I tell him I had nothing when I started, and he can do the same thing. This is the greatest country in the world, America, and you can make it. Immigrants make it way past regular born Americans. And we know that, they know that. That's why they have anger against us sometimes. But you can't let that stop you. You can't let anyone stop you. You have to find a way around the obstacles. That's what I try to tell him. And I guess I've been telling him so much that he doesn't want to listen to me anymore. So I went, and this is really hard to say. It's really personal, and it's something that I feel ashamed about because I tried to get my son to go to therapy. And he went to a couple of sessions, but he said the man didn't know what he was talking about. The man has degrees. The man went to college. The man makes something out of himself. The man understands troubled youth. And I paid a lot of money for that. And my son just would not continue to follow up. I don't know what to do. And sometimes I think I shut the internet down and just kick him out. But I feel bad if I have to do that, because I see a lot of these young people nowadays on the drugs and the chemicals and all the stuff that they take, and the ecstasy and all that kind of weird stuff. And I don't want to see my son living in a tent and doing things like that and this and that and, robbing people. So I try to give him chances. And my brothers back home, they tell me, you give him too many chances. You try to treat him like he's a prince or something, and he's not a prince. I don't think he thinks he's a prince, but what's that word, able? They say that I'm an enabler. I don't know. My wife even tells me that. She says, and I can't believe it when she says sometimes, maybe we need to stop helping him. Maybe we help too much. We make it easy for him to stay in the basement and play the Fortnites or the Knights of the Realm or Urban Combat or whatever. He had the nerve to ask me about prepaying for Grand Theft Auto, she say. I don't know. I tell him, if I pay for something else for you to play with, you're going to have to get a job. You get a job first, I loan you the money to get the game, you work and you play. That's what I try to tell him. I want him to understand. I put a roof over his head, and it's very frustrating that a boy who I raised, he was a good boy. He was a smart boy. We had great high hopes for him. When he was young, we would see him playing, and he was so smart. He was so smart, smarter than all the kids in the neighborhood. And they looked up to him. He had friends. And now he doesn't even have friends. He tells me he has friends. Look at all of the Facebook and friends he has, and the social media. That's why I didn't want to come on here today, but I thank you for giving me this opportunity, because if something can come from this and I can get him to try something else. I try to tell him, you have to respect the effort that it takes to make it in this world. This country is the best place you can be. I tell him, back home, I didn't have anything like I have now. I own a house. I own a second business. My wife, she works, but she has her own business. I don't know. We have money. We have cars. We have things that just was unheard of in our country. But we have this son also, who's a big disappointment. And no, I don't care. No. My wife tell me not to say that, but he is a disappointment. And I don't want to say that. I'm not trying to hurt him. But I think maybe if I put out these videos and someone can help me, guide me, I need guidance. I don't want to go to therapy. I don't believe in that for myself personally. I sent my son because I didn't know what else to do. My hands were tied. And, it's been since college. It's been 8 years. 8 years he's been in the basement. Hasn't been on a date with one girl. Hasn't gone out with his friends. The friends call and ask what's wrong with him. Why won't he come out? I don't know what to say to them. I don't know what to say to my son. I want to help him, but it's overwhelmed. I tell him that being busy also keeps you out of trouble. You don't have time to go out and have trouble and hang out with all that kind of things and people like this and that. But I don't know whether he takes that too literal, don't want to leave the house at all, just stay in and play those damn games. I want to go down there with my baseball bat and I want to smash all those computers. I shouldn't have bought those computers for him. I thought that was going to help him find a job. He told me that he would get online and he'd be able to find a job if he had access without going to the library or back over to the school. The school has a program where they will help him find a job. He went to it and he told me they didn't know what they're talking about either. He tells me no one knows what they're talking about. No one knows what he's going through. No one sees his side. Everybody always point to him and say, he's the bad guy. He's the one that caused the trouble. I can't make him understand. And I want to help him. He's my son. I love him. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep trying. I won't give up on him. And if you out there and you have some information, please contact the counselor in charge of this program and she can pass it on to me, because I really want to help my son get better, do better, be something in life. I see these young kids on the YouTubes making the money, doing things, helping people, selling classes, doing all kinds of stuff. But my son, all he wants to do is to play the game, just wants to be a consumer, doesn't want to create, doesn't want to do anything that, I don't know. I just wish there was some way I could help him. And if you know something, please feel free to pass it on, because I'm at the end of my rope. End of my rope. I thank you. And yeah, I will come back next week. I will come back. I'm going to try some of the things that the moderator said before I was able to give my speech. I will try some of these steps, and I will read the program and try some of this with my son to see if I can make him better and make him want to be better, because that's the first step. He has to want to be better, do better, be something. And if I'm what they say, enabler, I don't know. If I am an enabler, maybe that's something that I need to look at. And I will.